Hey gang, welcome back. I'm going to go ahead and go over creating borders for logos and modified shapes um, that you probably don't see too often. Here we are in my finished file for the logo project we had yesterday. Here's some ideas that I was coming up based off of organic shapes I was able to create. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that, but real quickly I want to go over the scale tool real quick. If I have a no fill here, I'm going to double click on it, make it black, click and drag out its square. With my white arrow tool, notice all my points are blue. I'm going to click and drag over, rubber banding around the top points. If I grab my scale tool and click there, and click and drag in, you can see I can pull in an object. I can also pull it out. So that's just another way you can modify points and shapes. It's pretty handy. All right, so I want to go ahead and talk to you about creating organic shapes. If I, for instance, wanted to create a white line going around this object here, I could hit Command C, click on it, Command C, Shift Command V, and that just pasted on top of this the same object, which happens to have a black fill, no stroke. So I'm just going to click on that. Now we have a black stroke, no fill. Object, path, offset path, preview. And now you can see, if we zoom in, it's putting a path around there. I can control the size of that by pressing up on the arrow in the offset path area. I can also change it from bevel to round. Say okay. So now I have a path going around that. If I wanted to stroke that path, I'd look for my stroke panel. And if you don't see it, it looks like this right here. I can bump the weight up on that stroke. Okay. If I wanted to, say for instance, make this a dotted line going around it, I just click the little dashed line box, and then I can just press up arrow on this, and you can see I'm creating more dashed lines. I'm going to bring that down real quick. And so, yeah, you see that. If I want to determine the space between the dashed lines, I go to the gap, press down here, and there's less space. If I want to bump the space up, I can press that. All right, so that's how to create a border around. Say, for instance, what if we had a circle and we wanted to make a logo with a circle? So I'm going to click and hold down Shift. Turn off the dash line and object, path, offset path, preview, and it's created one. What if I want to pull it in a little tighter? I can. So, okay. So that's how you create duplicate lines directly off of each other. All right, so that's kind of cool. Say, for instance, you wanted to give this stroke right here, bump it down in its weight, and you wanted to give it a silver fill to kind of like make it look like a badge. Well, by default, because the inner circle here, about a shortcut, if you have any tool selected, if you just hold down Command, it'll default to the black arrow tool. So while I have the circle tool here, I can always hold down Command and select something else. Also, you can hold down Option and cycle through the tools. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to hold down Command, click on the inner circle here, double click, and give that a lighter gray. So now I have two different shades. That's kind of cool. All right, I'm going to click and delete that. Showed you how to do that. Now I'm going to get to the point of showing you how to modify shapes. I'm going to use the polygon tool. I'm going to bump polygon. It would look something like that. We're going to bump it down so it's just a pentagon. Hold down Shift, and I'm going to hold with the white arrow tool. I'm going to click on just the left and then hold down Shift and click on just the right anchor point. If you look closely, all your other anchor points will be white. Now, if I click right now and drag inward, notice it's curving those points. Okay, that's kind of what I was going for. Sorry about that. Anyway, so here we are. Let's go ahead and click right here. Do Command C, Shift Command V. That's copy and paste in place. Let's go to Object Path, Offset Path. Sorry. Make sure you have the white arrow tool when you select it. Object Path, Offset Path, Preview. And now we have a border going around it. Maybe I want the top points. Maybe I want this to be a dashed line on the inside. Well, you can do whatever you want. I'm going to just set this to come out just a hair. Okay, now if I want to make the inside line dashed, I just click the dash lines in my stroke, and I can bump that down. And then I can also change the color to be a different color inside. Maybe I'm going for like a nature color theme. So there we go. What about the strokes on the inside? What can we do with those? Well, if we can change the way they look through the profile here, but you don't really get much out of that. So I'm going to leave it normal, and I'm going to show you a real quick little step. I'm going to go to Object with this inner circle selected here, the center part, Object Path, Outline Stroke, and now these individual strokes, I can click on them with the white arrow tool. If I click correctly and click on one and then the other, I got them all selected. Check it out. I'm going to go inside real quick right here, these two arrows. I'm just going to click on one of these and pull it in. That should soften up the corners on everything. Now they're all soft. Okay? So if you see my shapes down here, what I've done with my logo and the dotted lines, all that's been is just modifying paths. And if I get the star tool, this is kind of cool. This is like the Quicksilver logo. And I click and drag out and press down. Grab the white arrow tool. Click on that point right there. Hold down Shift, click on that point right there. You know what? I'm going to click and drag in. I create this kind of weird shape here. I can outline that. Let's give it a green fill. What if I clicked and dragged click up on the star tool, white arrow tool that, and just click on one of these right here, those little white things. I can click and drag and make a really cool organic shape. So again, to do that one more time so you can see it a little bit quicker, if I click on the star tool here and I click and drag out, and then I grab the white arrow tool and I just click on any of these little white dots, it's going to let me be able to pull in this gear-like shape. That comes in handy because maybe I want to have like a gray interior on that. So I select it, and pull it over here, and maybe make it gray. So you get some pretty cool modified shapes. Hopefully this tutorial has helped you out a little. If it hasn't, thank you for your patience.